वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Bhagavatam. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 25, the characteristics of King Puranjan. So we are at text 31. So we have seen Puranjan sees a queen, which is nothing but the intelligence, and he is extremely captivated, and he is making an offering to the queen. Okay. Now we come to text 31. वदाननं शुभ्रुसुतारुलोचनं व्यालाम्बिनीलालकवृन्दसंवृतम् उन्नीय मे दर्शनवल्गुवाचकं यद्व्रीडयानाभिमुखं शुचिस्मिते. Translation.
My dear girl, your face is so beautiful, with your nice eyebrows and eyes, and with your bluish hair scattered about. In addition, very sweet sounds are coming from your mouth. Nonetheless, you are so covered with shyness that you do not see me face to face. I therefore request you, my dear girl, to smile and kindly raise your head to see me. Purport. Such a speech is typical of a living entity attracted to opposite gender. This is called bewilderment, occasioned by becoming conditioned by material nature. One becomes very eager to enjoy. Instance of Puranjana's becoming attracted by the beautiful woman. In conditional life, the living entity is attracted by a face, eye, or anything. In short, everything becomes attractive. When by the opposite gender, it does not matter whether the opposite gender is beautiful or not. The lover sees everything beautiful in the face of the beloved and thus becomes attracted. This attraction causes the living entity to fall down in this material world. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 7.27. Dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O scion of Bharata, Arjuna, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. This condition of life is called avidya. Opposed by this avidya is real knowledge. Shri Ishopanishad distinguishes between vidya and avidya, knowledge and ignorance. By avidya, that is ignorance, one becomes conditioned, and by vidya, that is knowledge, one becomes liberated. Puranjana admits herein that he is attracted by avidya. Now he wishes to see the complete feature of avidya and so requests the girl to raise her head so that he can see her face to face. He thus wishes to see the various features that make avidya attractive. Hare Krishna.
So here the king Puranjan is requesting her, O Suchismite, that is requesting that your face is so beautiful with nice eyebrows and eyes, your bluish hair scattered everywhere, and you are conquering me out of your shyness. Please, now raise your head to smile and look at me. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains how this is how the living entity gets attracted to opposite gender. And we have seen previously that how she is shooting the arrows with the eyebrows being the bow and the visual glance, the sidelong glance, like the arrow. And Puranjan is very frankly admitting that this is actually arousing desire within me. And this Puranjan is becoming attracted to this beautiful personality. And Prabhupada writes that actually it is the beauty lies in the eyes of that beholder, right? So when one decides to get attracted, one becomes attracted anyways. And especially the typical forms, the one is the balyavastha, when somebody is very small child, it's very attractive. Even the every baby form of almost all animals are very attractive. And then shodashe, the prapteshu shodashe verse, that when somebody becomes 16, the teenage, then it is said that gardava api apsara bhavet, even the a donkey will look like apsara, so that the further continuation of the perpetual life takes place. And Prabhupada writes, this is a typical of the living entity in the material world. Ichha dvesha sarge yanti parantapaha. Born into delusion and overcome by the dualities like desire and hate. So this is the avidya, and just like opposite to avidya is vidya. And Sri Shopanishad explains very beautifully, vidyamscha vidyamscha yatyadevetrojana. That the one result is obtained by vidya, another result is obtained by avidya. But now in this case, Puranjan says, I want to completely see the avidya, and this is how he's asking to raise the head and look at me. One important point here is that, uh, you know, smile makes one attractive. So this is very important thing. Smile costs nothing and makes one quite attractive. So, we should have, not that we are just laughing here and there like a madman, but the point is that instead of having a frowned face or, a curve down, we should at least, I mean, of course, many of us have, but the point is we should have a smiling face. That is very important. So kindly smile. Okay. So it is very important that. So when I was doing this service, crowd control, and it was a very heavy service till 2013 because we had a very small temple in the camp, and festivals used to be huge festivals and huge crowd in a very small temple. And that time they said that whenever you want to even push people and tell them that be in the line, follow the rules, smile and tell, so that people don't mind it so much. Okay. So Suchismite, Shobhane, there is a lot of reference to smile, and smile really makes one attractive. Text 32. This is not the central message of the verse, by the way, but this is a side point. Narada Uvacha Ittam Puranjanam Nari Yachamanam Adhiravrat Abhyanandantatam Veeram Hasanti Veeramohita. Translation.
Translation, Narada continued, My dear king, when Puranjana became so attracted and impatient to touch the girl and enjoy her, the girl also became attracted by his words and accepted his request by smiling. By this time, she was certainly attracted by the king. Purport. By this incident, we can understand that when a man is aggressive and begins to woo a woman, the woman becomes attracted to a man. This process is described in the Bhagavatam 5.5.8 as Pumasahastriya Mithuni Bhavam Etam. This attraction is enacted on the platform of sensual life. Thus, the sensual impulse is the platform of material engagement. This conditional life, the platform of material sense enjoyment, is the cause of forgetfulness of spiritual life. In this way, a living entity's original Krishna consciousness becomes covered or converted into material consciousness. Thus, one engages in the business of sense gratification. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And when requested by like this, the girl became attracted by the words and accepted his request by smiling. Hasanti Veera Mohita. Mohita means now she also became captivated and attracted by the king Puranjan. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains when a man is aggressive and begins to woo a woman, the woman becomes attracted to the man. And this is the central principle of love jihad. Okay. So, and now the love jihad has gone to the another extreme of which is called as the gym jihad. Okay. And actually, one of the Muslim friend he was explaining to another devotee, he has quite a good Muslim friend. He said that, you know, they said that now this a particular, not all of them, but some of them at least, if not many, they are trying to woo the Hindu woman by and by being a instructor, being gym instructor, being from a particular jihadi mindset and this and that, and this, and so it is so stupid. I don't know, of course there is a entire lecture on that, but it is that the some rickshaw wala, and all respect to rickshaw wala, point is not that rickshaw wala is not the point, but with a very a different kind of a profession, and people are getting attracted are like there are doctors, engineers, CAs, lawyers, and people from very good families, Jain families, Marwadi families, and and this is how. So the principle is this: when a man is aggressive and begins to woo a woman, the woman becomes attracted to a man, and therefore one should be always very careful and follow the Vaishnava etiquettes. Okay, so this is the base desires are so strong that anybody at any age can get attracted, right? So when it comes to the Vaishnava etiquette, especially dealing with the opposite gender, one should always play safe. Better safe than sorry. And Srila Prabhupada writes, this is the Bhagavatam principle, Pumsa Striya Maithuni Bhavametat. This attraction is enacted by the on the platform of sensual life, and and the sensual life is such that because all the senses are fully engaged in the activity, that is the direct, complete forgetfulness of Krishna, right? And thus, living entities, original Krishna consciousness becomes covered over or converted into material consciousness. This prema becomes kama, and the living entity is tightly bound to the material nature. Text 33. न विदाम वयं सम्यक् कर्तारम् पुरुषर्षभ आत्मनस्य परस्यापि गोत्रं नाम च यत्कृतम्. Translation.
The girl said, O best of human beings, I do not know who has begotten me. I cannot speak to you perfectly about this, nor do I know the names or the origin of the associates with me. Purport. The living entity is ignorant of his origin. He does not know why this material world was created, why others are working in this material world, and what the ultimate source of this manifestation is. No one knows the answers to these questions, and this is called ignorance. By researching into the origin of life, important scientists are finding some chemical compositions or cellular combinations. But actually, no one knows the original source of life within this material world. The phrase Brahma Jitnyasa is used to indicate an inquisitive our existence in this material world. No philosopher, scientist, or politician actually knows where from we have come, why we are here struggling so hard for existence, and where we will go. Generally, people are of the opinion that we are all here accidentally, and that as soon as these bodies are finished, all our dramatic activities will be finished and we will become zero. Such scientists and philosophers and impersonalists and voidists. In this verse, the girl is expressing the actual position of the living entity. She cannot tell Puranjana her father's name because she does not know from where she has come, nor does she know why she is present in that place. She frankly says that she does not know anything about all this. This is the position of the living entity in this material world. There are so many scientists, philosophers, and big leaders, but they do not know where from they have come, nor do they know why they are busy within this material world to obtain a position of so-called happy. In this material world, we have many nice facilities for living, but we are so foolish that we do not ask who has made this world habitable for us and has arranged it so nicely. Everything is functioning in order, but people foolishly think that they are produced by by chance in this material world and that after death they will become zero. They think that this beautiful place of habitation will automatically remain. Hare Krishna. I think Prabhuji has left. Harshad Prabhu, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible, but Mukundanam Prabhuji is not there, it seems.
I think he has left in meeting.
Hare Krishna, not audible.
Hare Krishna, Mudit Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually,
Prabhu, we can't hear Mukundananda Prabhu.
yeah, I think Prabhuji has left the meeting.
Okay.
Yesterday he was traveling, so maybe he's not in range. I don't know. So once I will ask him whether he
Okay.
is joining or not.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
We are checking, Mataji. Please hold. We are checking if Mukundanam Prabhuji will be dialing him back.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, very deeply disconnected. So now the girl says, there is some problem, Systemia isn't responding. Let me see how it goes. Na vidam vayam samyak kartar purusharshab. I do not know who has begotten me, the names or the origins to associate with me. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the living entity is ignorant of his origin. He doesn't know from where he has come, from where he is going. And not only the living entity and the big scientists, they are also greatly bewildered to this matter. There is a very famous quote by a great scientist, Albert Sainz Groigeri. He received a Nobel Prize in 1937 for discovering chemical reactions and vitamin C. And he discovered that his very famous quote is, "In my search of secret of life, I ended up with atoms and electrons which have no life at all. Somewhere along the line, life has run out of through my fingers. So in my old age, I am now retracing my steps." Okay. So Prabhupada says their goal was to find out what is the origin of life, what is the goal of life. But later, after this discovery and many biological oxidation processes, he expressed a great frustration that you cannot reduce the living system to some chemistry and physics alone, and this cannot explain the phenomena called as life. And he became very deeply spiritual and meditative later, but he had this big question that life doesn't mean the amino acids and vitamin C, right? So he became very interested in deeper questions, what distinguishes from the living and non-living matter. So basically he was looking for Bhagavad Gita. So why we are here, Kone Ami, who we are, why we are here, why we are struggling, what is the goal of life, where we are supposed to go. All these questions are very important questions to answer, and these questions can be completely answered in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, she cannot tell Puranjan who the father's name was because she did not know where she is coming from. Neither she is aware where she is in the present place. So in this case, she is referred as the living entity in the material world who is completely bewildered. And this is the position of living entity in the material world, who is completely bewildered and thinking that, that he is the product. Paropi manuti anartham. Everything is functioning in order, but people foolishly think they are products by chance in this material world. And after that, everything becomes zero. So the product of by chance is the Darwin stupidity. Becoming zero is Shunyavad, and this is how the whole the space is occupied by people. And the whole thinking space is occupied by this Nirvishesh Shunyavad. They think that this beautiful place of habitation will automatically remain. And sometimes people have different ideas. People think that once a human, always a human. Sometimes people think that when you die, it's like a long, deep, long sleep. It is right. But sometimes people say nothing. Just we just become nothing. Enjoy now only. Kim punarabhavan. Yeah, bhasmi bhutasya dehasya. So people have different ideas, and this is how she is also expressing that she doesn't really know who she is. Important word here is Gotra Nama. Gotra Nama is what is your family lineage, and Gotra Vichar is very important, especially when in terms of marriage, right? So, and there is a very scientific research done on this, that one should not marry with the same Gotra. And you will see that marriage in the same Gotra, like in a particular community, we was talking to one person, he said that हम किसी को भी किसी से भी भिड़ा देते हैं, like that वो बोलते हैं, means the Sulat Bhau, I mean the first cousins, they get married and this and that, and one can see a great rise in because of this particular thing, I mean large number of mentally retarded or uh, some with some young children are being born with such marriage. And therefore, Gotra Vichar is very important. The word Gotra is coming here in this verse, especially when the inquiry is about marriage. Gotra Vichar is very important. And this is all Bhagavatam. This is not some Upadharma or something like that. This is a basic sanitation in the life. There is nothing like Upadharma here, or we are getting too much captivated by astrology. No, this is basic sanitation. Text 34. इहाद्य सन्तमात्मानं विदां न ततः परं
अनरेकॉर्डेड रहिला तर तू बाजूस हरी बोल
येनेयं निर्मिता वीर पुरिशरणमात्मनः. Translation.
O great hero, we only know that we are existing in this place. We do not know what will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place for our residence. Purport. This lack of Krishna consciousness is called ignorance. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.5, it is called Parbhavas Tavad Abodha Jataha. Everyone is born ignorant. The Bhagavatam therefore says that we are all born ignorant within this material world. In our ignorance, we may create nationalism, philanthropy, internationalism, science, philosophy, and so many other things. The basic principle behind all this is ignorance. What then is the value of all this advancement of technology if the basic principle is ignorance? Unless a person comes to Krishna consciousness, all of his basic activities are defeated. This human form of life is especially meant to dissipate ignorance. But without understanding how to dissipate ignorance, people are planning and building many things. After death, however, all of this is finished. Thank you, Prabhu.
So she began to say, "Oh Veera, we only know that we are existing in this place. We do not know what will come after this and who has created this beautiful place." So here Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the living entity's complete ignorance, is being expressed in this verse. And therefore, the goal of the human form of life is athato brahma jigyasa. One has to inquire, who am I? What is the goal of life? Where I am come from? Where I am going to go? Who created this place? Is there a place which is the superior to this place? Why there is misery? Why there is a happiness? So these questions should come to the inquisitive human mind. Otherwise, the life is considered to be defeat. Parabhavas tavad abodha jata nayat jitnyasa yadatma tattvam. If we do not do jitnyasa about atma tattva, that is considered as parabhavas jata. That is real parabhav of the human form of life. And there are variety of ignorance, and out of variety of ignorance will be born different isms, right? So there will be nationalisms, philanthropy, science, philosophy, everything will come in. And when one is in the the formative stage of one's life, again age appropriate, one has to dedicate for according to one's psychophysical nature. Prabhupada writes this in Ishopanishad, that all these isms can also be used in Krishna's service and completely spiritualized. So even after understanding the limitation of a particular ism, we cannot just simply transcend it or reject it and transcend it, right? We have to, by and large, there are people who can do that, maybe 1% of the people. But by and large, we have to realize, then we have to go through the complete experience and naturally conclude and then come out of it. Not that, the child just reads one line in the purport and says that, my studies is Maya, my parents, you are all Maya, and everything is Maya, and I'm going to forest. No, this will not work, right? So one has to go through the life. And this human form of life is especially meant for this inquiry, following this inquiry, and ultimately coming to the ultimate inquiry, that is athato brahma jigyasa. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Ram.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.